Hello! I hope the process of completing the article summary worksheets gets easier and easier each time. As you work on that, I thought it might be good to also help you connect this with where we're at in the overall learning process and explain how it relates to the objectives for the class. The graphic at the left highlights the different steps in the scientific method, and we started with the topic when I suggested it would be interesting to look at stress. And we're currently focused more on the see what we know part. That process, though, also helps us think about later steps like designing and conducting a study and drawing a conclusion. We can map that then to the overall objectives for the class that you probably saw in the syllabus. It may be pretty obvious how this process will help you utilize information from journal articles, but the other ideas might not be quite as obvious. Before I go on, you might stop this video and think about how completing the article summary worksheets could contribute to your ability to achieve the other objectives in this list. I hope those ideas make some sense, but I wanted to touch base on a few things just to help you understand that the article summary worksheets aren't just busy work, they're part of a bigger idea. My idea is that they'll help you communicate ideas and findings in APA style by encouraging you to look at many different examples and notice what is and is not fitting with APA style. Similarly, I hope the process helps you explain approaches to obtaining research participants by giving you a chance to see the way many studies do that. You'll notice a lot of them that we've looked at so far include using college students who needed to do it for class. Understanding the way those approaches influence the findings is why I encourage you to think about generalizability. We can look at ways to and approaches to measuring variables and the way that influences the findings when we think about how they operationally define variables. By noticing how they're measuring those variables, we develop a list that helps us think about the process of selecting an appropriate measurement. I don't ask you to look at the results in great detail, but having a sense of how they're there and then how that connects to the information in the discussion section helps you learn how to accurately interpret the findings of an empirical study. And this last one, I sometimes feel a little snarky for even having in there, but I think it's important to highlight for all of us. When you graduate, you're looking, in many cases, at least most students want to have a good job. And the employers hope that you have the skills that they're looking for. And so I try to think about how the way I structure a class helps you achieve those skills. The online class in and of itself requires a lot of self-regulated learning. In other words, you need to find a way to organize and structure and some internal motivation. The teamwork skills might not be quite as direct, but I do hope that if you're stuck, you'll reach out to a colleague or reach out to me and realize the learning process does not have to be just on your own. And overall, the entire process of research goes along with critical thinking. That's also why I'm going to encourage you to think about what we know from the studies instead of just reporting on what they found. In other words, instead of just saying they found this or they did this and they found this, thinking about what we know, what we learned about the topic.